This is a song by a man called Ray Conniff. That's life. You're here today and gone tomorrow. I came to you in dark despair. I needed someone who would care. You held me close against your heart. I felt the warmth right from the start. Then one day he took you away. Why did it happen? Who can say? Now all that there is left for me is just a precious memory. That's life. That's life. You take the joy, you take the sorrow. That's life. That's life. You're here today and gone tomorrow. Now, isn't that life? Now, normally I don't do videos on these stories. I have a very practical view about life and death, which some persons may consider a little cold. But then, that's just me. But this one, when I heard Cliff Hughes and listening to the mother, I almost cried. And I wondered to myself, where could this family have gone wrong? Because clearly something happened in addition to his breeding, as we would say, his ancestry, what was in his past, the parents' past, that is, that came together and formed this young man. A young man who, it would appear, they may not have understood very clearly, particularly the one who brought him up, his father. And I'm always of the view, unless it is absolutely necessary, do not place a child in its father's care. Leave the child and the children to the mothers. Unless the mother is neglectful and not paying close attention to the child, then you remove the child from the home, especially if they are being mistreated or neglected. Outside of that, leave children in the care of the mothers. It is the mothers that have the gift of understanding their children and therefore know how to guide them. Remember, there is no school you can go to learn how to care for a child. It's an on-the-job experience, and every child is different. And therefore, you leave it to those who are, well, cultured by nature itself, born in our blood, to be the one to be responsible for the upbringing of those children. Because as I listen to the mother, to the extent that what she's saying is so, it was clear where the error was made. It was the father who made the mistake. And when you think about it, this Europeanized system that I've been complaining about, that we have adopted, we have inherited, and continuing with, is something that must come to an end. It does not serve us well. It is a master and servant system. It is about getting everybody to work for a few people so that they can live luxurious lives. There is no concept in the Europeanized system of everybody being the same or equality. Even though these are nice words, it cannot be achieved with this particular system. But it is what it is until we gather up the courage, or we've decided that we've had enough of it, and return to who we were. Yes, the systems that we operated had its faults, and all we have to do is correct it. It's a system that in its operation is perfect, but because of the other set of people that now come into the world, those abominations, we now have to tweak it to make it work for us and prevent us from falling victim to those abominations as we did in the past. It is this weak and idiotic system that we operate that led to the problem in the first place. And I will get to that and show why it is that this system is the source of all the problems that we currently have and why its weakness resulted in this unfortunate tragedy and many others. But enough of what I have to say for now. Let us listen to Cliff Hughes and the Nationwide News Network journalist who had done this excellent interview with the young fellow's mother. But before I go over to Cliff Hughes, let me welcome everyone to Jamaica 411. I'm your host, Michelle Stern. Welcome back to my subscribers. If you're here with me for the first time, welcome. If you have not yet subscribed, for my silent listeners and those who are with me for the first time, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And what I'd like you all to do for me, please go ahead also and give the video a thumbs up from now on. Please give the video a thumbs up as well as share. And of course, feel free to leave your comments in the comments section. I thank you all in advance. And now with the preliminaries out of the way, let's go over now to Cliff Hughes.
And it's not a good morning, but I wish you a good day, a better day. This morning, a country, a people are trying to come to terms with another shocking murder in Jamaica. Another shocking murder. Kelsey. The killing of Kelsey Ferrigon of Job Lane in Spanish Town last Friday, sometime between 1 and 8 p.m. has shocked the country. And this morning, we're learning a little bit more about not only Kelsey, we're going to be hearing from her school principal of St. John's Primary School. There you see a photograph of 9-year-old Kelsey, no longer with us because of this most brutal and savage act. And this morning, we're also learning about how the people of Job Lane, where Kelsey lived, are responding. We're also learning about the mother of the person of interest. Not a suspect officially yet, but person of interest. Coolie man. He is Giovanni Ellis. This is the person of interest the police have named, who they really want to speak with urgently. And he's somewhere in Jamaica. He's somewhere in Jamaica at this moment. And wherever he is in Jamaica, he must be made to feel hunted. Nowhere in Jamaica must he be safe. Nowhere in Jamaica. He must be made to understand that it's better and in his best interest that he turns himself into the police. Because, as you will hear in this interview with the woman who gave birth to him, Lurleen Williams, And let me warn you, or reporter, presenter Ruben Williams found his mother, Lurleen Williams, this morning and spoke with her. And the interview is tough. Tough to listen to. Because the mother of Ellis said some things that were hard, especially coming from a mother. Here's that interview that Ruby did with Lurleen Williams this morning in Spanish Town.
The thing is, people don't understand and they must say what them want to say and them don't know nothing. Him do not grow with me. So the one to come out of the house, yeah. Him and my daughter me grow. The father take him away from my 2-year-old, me left him father. And my 2-year-old, my father came to go court and take him away. It was an abusive relationship and me did make up my mind say me not stay in it. Me leave. Father came to court, take him away. Him not tell him say him came go court and take him away from me, you know. Him tell him say me run away. Left him and them. Right?
So you never grow him none at all?
None at all, not grow him.
But what do you think, or why you think some sort, you know you don't have no explanation?
Oh boy.
Many are looking to you now.
My son was dead at Gregory Parker in cause him for dead my best, one of my best son. I said that young man was dead kill a Gregory Park cut off his head. That him not talk, him not keep company. Him only well he did live over there too. And this same boy I met man beat him. And I say, alright, left your house, pack up some clothes and come. And he was here with me, but him still go and work over there. And the Saturday morning he go and work, and all me get is a phone call. So then kill him, cut off his head.
What kind of person was he?
The one who did?
No man, the one who did something like this.
To tell you the truth, I can't give much explanation, but I know I'm a good somebody because if he can look for me and tell me, say me and my mother. I'm my father married to my mother. I mean, nobody to him. He hate me, he cuss me, he tell me some word to me, even can't tell you over the media. But all my sister will go up on media and talk about me know when they me condole with him and me back him. She a wicked and she a liar.
So for the record, you don't know where he is?
I don't know when they. Last night me send their Falmouth, them will him a Falmouth beat him and the police protection hospital. Me hear for one of the media say, in the harbour view.
So which one should I play?
How much place me here say him there? I don't have a clue. Because me and my brother them in here, so I have nothing to do. Alright, stick up in. Whosoever bail him and post bail, if me did love him so much, all the wrongs doing with him I do. Me know that bail him. Me know here so he would live. He would not forget people, yeah, don't it? And in a family house, a few years when I come, if we did condole with it, in band for this yard over more than 10 years. When do we as family, mother, him uncle them, when do we as family in band for us and can come here say, when we see him Friday, The two women then can't tell you, come here. I run him out. I say, you know, if you come here, so you know, belong here, so. Go on where you go. And when he step off of the veranda, I don't know which way in turn. If he turn so or in turn so. Because as you can see, the yard don't fence round. Because if you go straight down to the back, you the back have a little fence, but one gate down there. You understand? So all the lie we tell upon me, and all the false accusation where them have my name a ring on, and the sister will go up how much media and a talk about police beat me till me talk when there. No worry yourself. You're there come. The man first you do me this. More than one time you do me. You set up man for kill me. You set up man for breaking in my house and for come kill me. And my 2-year-old baby. But God is on my side. And a God when me serve, Shernet and Samantha, the God when me serve, you know, I go see me not have to do nothing. When I go down on my knee and pray.
At this point in time, you would encourage him to turn himself in.
Right now,
The mother of the person of interest on the run in connection with the killing of Kelsey, Giovanni Ellis' mother. She also told Ruby and Williams in that interview, yes, that she heard from him on Friday, Jareen, on Friday. Yeah, sometime on Friday. Listen to what she told Ruby.
he no call me, kind of phone. He did have Friday night in call and the police was here and he not get no information when but when we attack, and I really me attack to him first when I talk to him, I tell him and tell him I may ask where they now give no information when they. But we can know say him in our vehicle drive. That much we could have figured out of the call and he end up and from that no more call from him.
So he has a phone.
He has a phone but look like we call back the number, both me, the police, call back the number and
Now get him.
not you know take out the phone, the chip out of the phone and just straight to voicemail.
What about the members of the community? Them not threatened, them not send threats to you or nothing?
No, you have some people where we talk, you know, but you know the people that will know me, I know we in the yard here, I know say him no welcome here. Them the people that stand up with we. Cause when they come down last night, you know, you have a whole heap of them come down, but you have a whole heap of them come down, we back way and stand up for you. The ones that will know we, yeah, stand up for we. So them couldn't do nobody nothing. And then the police come down.
We're covering for you the killing of Kelsey, Ferrigan, last Friday in Job Lane, in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. The person of interest on the run, Giovanni Ellis. His mother, Lurleen Williams, spoke with our Ruby Ann Williams today. And in that interview, Miss Williams spoke about not only her anger, but her advice to Jamaicans who may come into contact with Giovanni Ellis.
Now, if this ever go out to the public, anyway, you don't catch him, you don't kill him. Anybody at all catch him, kill him.
So the police advising against jungle justice.
Really. Me ask the police, say, really, under that catch a man like that and carry me for goddamn taxpayers' money? Miss, when me see him, I couldn't recognize him, we and get fat. In a jail in there and get fat, but in their road, fat and look good, so. He might get 3 meals a day. Sometimes he don't have one for the day.
So you wouldn't want for them to bring him in?
Him no fi go in alive, miss. Miss, him no fi go in alive. And me give birth to him. And me a thought that. Him no fi go in alive. Me tell that to the police them pan them face and tell them say if me face him, me a kill him. Cause me not make him force me and kill me. Cause no him bring me come here, me bring him come here. And before me make him kill me, me kill him.
On that note, are you fearful of him?
Yes, I am. Even my little son you see here, very fearful. Because we hear a lot of things. Say him have gun, him have all kinds of... We're fearful of that because we not have none. And we not have nobody for back with that way there. Yeah, we only have to depend on the police. Yeah, we're fearful because it's knife and machete. We can't face gun with knife and machete. Because we still...
Wow. A mother. And when you hear that from a mother, you know how bad it is. It is very bad. And she also told us that he had a history, a criminal history. Yeah? Listen to this.
To jail.
And they live with one girl, and they deal with one girl. The girl have one little girl. He broke up the baby too, and he beat up a girl.
So that's what he was in jail for?
Yes, because the girl carried the baby. Because no him alone, no, she and him did their jail. Because she carried the baby down to the hospital and left the baby and left the baby.
This was, what, some years ago?
Yes, some years ago, because over 2 years, he's supposed to be in a lockup for.
I heard a very sad incident about something that he did to his family member, his own family member.
Yes. And he got the time and come out.
As in he went to prison?
He went to prison.
You feel like people like these, they should keep in prison?
No, them fi kill them. Government fi bring him back corporal punishment.
You feel like, yeah?
Yes. All police will him know them fi.
Death penalty and so.
Right. You're gonna make him stay in the till what? Tell him all and granddad in there, eat and drink and happy. Him go happy in there, no? Because him all get 3 meals a day, miss. Then good to give him clothes, soap, food and everything. He don't have nothing to worry about.
You see Kelsey, mommy? You talked to Kelsey,
Yes,
mommy?
I talked to her yesterday. Me and Kelsey mommy have no conflicts. We never have no conflicts. No thing. Right? Nothing we never have. We live good. Here, so we live good.
So this is definitely...
Lurleen Williams there speaking with Robian Williams. And Kelsey Ferrigan was attending St. John's Primary School in Spanish Town.
So, of course, we want to thank Robian. Is it Robian Williams? The NNN journalist, for that excellent interview. But unfortunately, I was left with a whole heap of questions, and you would not believe it, about 14 of them, you know. So I had to go and do the research and dig some more. So I went and I consulted with the advisor, because the advisor was the one that told us about how Melissa had died. And then there is one called Papai. He had done an interview with the mother. And it's a good interview, but there were still questions left because he seemed to have overlooked something that the mother said, which I think is very important. And then I got something off Pinkwall, where Paula Llewellyn was being interviewed by Deion Jackson Miller. So, what are the questions that this particular interview left hanging? First of all, there was no mention of the charge. Mind you, they were interviewing the mother. You have to do things sometimes, one step at a time. So it left us with no idea as to the charges. What was he charged for? Why he ended up in court? We know that they said that he broke the arms of his girlfriend's child. But what exactly was the charge? The next voice you're going to hear is that of Paula Llewellyn, the Director of Public Prosecutions, and she is speaking to Deion Jackson Miller.
Well, we do have a file on Mr. Ellis. It was in the St. Catherine Circuit Court. He was indicted for 4 counts of causing grievous bodily harm with intent in terms of incidents that occurred between the 11th day of May and the 14th day of May. The complainant was or is a toddler, female toddler. She was born on November 3rd, 2019. So at the time of the incident, she was a toddler and the daughter of his girlfriend with whom he lived. Both of them, after the toddler had returned to the hospital with broken arm and seemed to have been left in the care of the hospital. Subsequent to that, both Mr. Ellis and his girlfriend were taken in by the police, and I believe the investigations commenced, and I see where the original charges against both were assault occasioning grievous bodily harm, which is an offense in the parish court, aiding and abetting child abuse, cruelty to child, and child abuse. The female accused, very early in the day, because the matter first came before the court on May 12, 2023, and very early in the day, later on in May, the female, through her attorney, had indicated that she wanted to plead guilty and assist the Crown by giving evidence against the male accused. Subsequently, a formal plea deal was inked, and the accused pleaded guilty to 2 counts, and she was given 2 years suspended for 2 years on both counts, 1 and 2. However, from what I've seen on our detailed endorsements on the file, while the male accused, Mr. Ellis, continued before the court, and we had indicted him for the 4 counts of causing grievous bodily harm with intent, it would appear that the female, his former co-accused, seemed to not be making herself available.
All right, wonderful. So Paula Llewellyn told us that there were 4 counts, and none of them involved child molestation. Hence, I don't know if it would have been any value to the court for them to bring that up. And by them, of course, I'm referring to the prosecutor. There was no charge of child abuse, so they could not have said that he was sent to prison on 3 counts of, molestation on underage girls. So if they did not bring up any other charge of assault, so remember the 4 charges: assault occasioning grievous bodily harm, aiding and abetting child abuse, cruelty to child, and child abuse. Those are the 4 charges that were laid against them, both himself and his girlfriend. So if the prosecutor could not come to the court and say to the court, this man has a history of child abuse, of violence, then when the attorney for the accused requested bail, then of course you can understand the reason why the judge would have granted bail. And according to the mother, apparently he was granted bail in the sum of $300,000. So when I heard this matter, I said to myself, why did the judge let the man out? Why would the judge have given him or granted him bail when that would have been the explanation, right? Now, remember, he went to prison for molestation, carnal abuse, as I understand it. And had the charge been carnal abuse, they would have brought that up, and more than likely, the judge may have denied bail, because no telling what these judges will do when they hear the defense attorney. You follow? Yes. So that would have answered one of our questions. Why, with his history, did the judge grant bail? Well, we think we answered that. Now, the question now on everybody's lips, who was it that bailed him? Because evidently he was in prison for 2 years. This case, you heard Paula Llewellyn said between the 11th and the 14th of May. There was no mention of the year, but it was in 2023 that the matter came up for trial, right? And it was still before the court prior to his death. Now, somebody went and bailed him. We don't know who that is, right? Another thing that did not come up in all of the articles that I read, in all of the videos that I watched, and that was where was he living and what were the conditions of the bail. We know the usual thing is that he must report to the police station at such and such a time, at so many number of days. Where was he living? And there's also the matter of when exactly was he bailed?
We are inviting him to turn himself in no later than 5 p.m. today.
According to head of the Area 5 Police, Assistant Commissioner Christopher Phillips, Giovanni Ellis was recently released on bail for an assault case involving a child.
He was out on bail. About 10 days ago, he was released. And it really brings up, issues that we need to confront as a society when we talk about persons with sexual offense records and how we manage those persons who, are expected to reintegrate into the society.
TVJ News understands that Ellis does not live on Job Lane and was only staying there with family since being out on bail. And our news team also learned that this wasn't his first offense either. He was arrested and charged in 2013 for the sexual assault of a female relative.
She was 12-year-old at the time.
Was how old?
12. When she got raped by him. He knocked her out with a post order. We went to court and him get 3-year sentence. We never expect him to come out back and continue doing these things.
And although his family was forgiving then, this time around, they've publicly banished him. While acknowledging the role that the suspect's family has played in assisting the police so far, Member of Parliament Olivia Grange is appealing to residents to allow the security forces to do its job.
Jungle justice never solves a problem. I understand how they feel, I understand the emotion, I understand the anger, because I'm angry. But the law should take its course.
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
So TVJ provided 2 answers for us. We had asked what were the conditions of his bail and where did he say he was going to be living, right? And according to TVJ News, he was not living on Job Lane, but he was staying with family members. I suspect that that is not necessarily right because the family, the mother said that where she lived was a big family yard. And he was neither living there nor welcomed there. So that was not where he was living. And she, his mother, never mentioned about any other relatives living on Job Lane. So I don't think that's correct. Right? And next door, where Kelsey was living. Yes, Kelsey was living next door to his mother. And that was where he went and assaulted the child. It is alleged. We still have to call it an allegation because it never go before the court and he was not convicted. You understand? Not saying is the people are telling lies on him. We just have to say it as it is. So he, according to the police, would have gotten bail some 10 days before. Let us listen again to what that female relative said he had done in 2013.
Him knock her out with a post order.
Did you hear what she said? Did it sound to you like she said that he knocked out the 12-year-old girl with a post wood? Was that what she said? Now remember, this incident took place in 2013. His mother said that he is 30 years old up to the time when he was alive. 30 years old. So 2013 from 2025, that's 12 years ago. He would have been 18 years old at the time of this incident in 2013. He not only raped the girl, it's not that he was wooing this girl, this 12-year-old, and had sexual relations with her. You heard what he did, an 18-year-old boy. Knock her out with a post wood, lick her out. And when she was unconscious, him rape her. And it was taken to court. This now, first of all, is a carnal abuse on a minor. The child was under the age of what is the age nowadays? 16. And he was an 18-year-old. He went before a judge. And the judge, in their wisdom, I don't know if it's a male or a female or who that judge is. We probably need to find out. That judge decided to give him a what? A 3-year sentence for using a post wood, knocking a 12-year-old child unconscious and ravishing her. And the judge believed that deserved a little slap on the wrist. Naughty, naughty, naughty. And then when he came back out of prison, there was further psychological conditioning of this 18-year-old boy by our society when his family forgave him. The man not just rape the child, he not just talk her into it and then have sex with her, as some people do. Him decide to knock her out. Him hit her so hard that she was unconscious. And then him ravished the 12-year-old. And the court thought that deserved a little tap on the wrist, naughty, naughty, naughty. And his family decided to forgive him. What would have been going through the head of that 18-year-old having done what he did to a child? Clearly, as a man, he must feel that it's okay for him to run around and rape underage girls, knock them in them head if need be, and ravish them. The court clearly approves, and so did his family. When he went before the court, and it was described to them what the boy had done at the age of 18, what did the judge believe that his or her role was in the sentencing of this youth? My understanding of the role of a court is that they must first determine justice, what is fair. Who are they supposed to be fair to? To the parties that are before them. That's the first person. They're supposed to be fair to both parties. That's before them. Then there is the matter of the public interest. That must also be taken into consideration. And since we're talking about a criminal offense, then clearly the safety and security of the society ought to figure into that decision of the court, I should think. Don't you would think so too? Then there is a matter of punishment, because that is the system that we have. That's why we have jails, to punish people, right? Them talking this rubbish about rehabilitate. How them going to rehabilitate a rapist? Whenever you hear of a person being raped and murdered, I always say to the police, go and look at your record to see how many persons convicted of rape that you just let out. Because you will find the clue right there, right? That's somebody who decide that by leaving the victim alive, that's how they end up in prison. And them not going back to prison again. No, this guy could have done the same thing, knock out the girl and rape her and leave her, but then he would go back to prison. And so he decided to do what he chose to do. And we have not yet heard exactly what was the cause of death. We heard there were bruises on her body, but exactly how was she killed? Was it strangulation? We don't know. So when we hear the autopsy result, we will hear how he actually killed her, right? Because that is not immediately clear. Now, when we're going back to the court because the court had him in their grasp and did not seek to protect the society from this monstrosity. What did the judge see their role as? What do they see their role as in this matter of safety and security of the citizens of the country? Do they think they have any responsibility to the society? Right? 3 years for a crime like that. And in that time, the judge expected him to have been rehabilitated so that when they let him out again, him good. Well, we have not heard yet of any other incident. He was living with his girlfriend and a child. I don't know if it's his child, but he was not charged for rape. So, as far as we are concerned, it appears that there were no further incident since 2013. That's just the appearance. He was never caught or accused, as far as we know. But then he went into a violent abuse of an infant born 2019, according to Paula Llewellyn. And in 2023, he was in jail. He was in jail for 2 years, awaiting the completion of the trial, I suppose. And somebody went and bailed him. Man wanted to come out. And when he came out, rather than take advantage of his opportunity and freedom and try and see if he can wiggle him way out of that charge with this slack system that we have called injustice system, he decided to go and do something terrible. And now he's dead. And even as much as he was not convicted, and therefore what he was accused of remains an allegation, when we hear the evidence that against him, based on what his mother said that he turned up to her house while she was there unexpectedly, never announced he was coming, and she was afraid. She thought that this guy came to do her harm, right? So I guess she would have pet and powder him in the meantime until somebody turn up to buy the back juice from her or something to that effect. And then she tell him, go on, go on. Because he was never welcome at the house. Evidently, they did not accept him in the house after he did what he did to the 12-year-old. Because the mother had said, that is over 10 years she stopped dealing with him. There was an uncle or her brother trying to tell her that she must go and go bail him because a family already, right? And she said, no, she not $300,000 to go bail him the second time around. And at the time when he had abused the child that he was arrested and charged for, he and his girlfriend and the child was living at Kelsey's mother's house next door to his own mother. That's where he was living for a period of time and until the incident took place and he went to jail. So, and yet, there was no allegation, evidently, that he had messed with Kelsey during that time. Of course, she would have been 7 years old, maybe my principles, and don't interfere with children under a certain age, right? And so he came out of jail. He was bailed round about the 1st of May and turned up at his mother's house on the same day of the incident. The mother said somewhere between 12 and 1 o'clock, she saw him. And she talked to him until people came, 2 ladies came, and she run him out and said, don't come back here, right? And She says she was in the house when she run him out, and she don't know where he turned. Between 1 and 2, Kelsey's mother prepared herself and she left for work. The question is, and I do believe, his mother said, Lurleen said, that Kelsey's mother said that he was saying that he was sorry about something. It appears as though it was at the time when she was preparing for work. Did you get that impression? It looked like he go over there and go talk to her, and then she left. Remember, there is no allegation, as far as we know, that while he was living at the house, he had ever messed with any of the children, the girls that were there. So if the mother left, as she had done that day, and went to work, and he was there, as some people seem to suggest, she would not have had any reason to think that he was going to do something like that. You follow? That is if at the time when she left he was there. Either that or went to the house sometime after, because when the little sister, 6-year-old, came from school and went to the house, she said that he was there, but Kelsey was not. Right? That is why they pin it on him and say he must be the one. And because of his past history, they suspect that he was the one who had done it. Now it's only DNA and so on now will definitely prove it. And then we can say, him for sure. And I'm sure the police should continue with them investigation and make sure they lock it up tight and fast, right? And prove that, yes, it was him. Because they have him DNA now, and they can swat the girl and get DNA off her and prove it. So that was why they pitched on him in the first place and said, I must him do it. Now, where the story pick up again, he was found in a house in Clarendon, Sandy Bay, Clarendon, a pink house. And the question is, who owned that house? How did he get to be living in that house? Right? Who gave him permission to live in that house? And was that where he was staying after he left jail? When he was bailed, was that where he was staying? Because how he would have find somewhere so quick? You follow what I'm saying? To go and well, hide out. Is that it? Well, somebody certainly squealed on him. And of course, they dispatched him without further ado to either his maker or the devil. I asked the question earlier, what could have gone wrong in this family? And I put the blame squarely on the shoulders of the father. But the thing about it is, she kept talking about when she left the father. She left the father, and the father took her to court and took Giovanni from her.
One quick question. One quick. His father still alive?
Yeah, man.
All right, go ahead. Continue.
So, he ate me for that.
Yes.
If you live in a relationship as a woman and a man put him hand on you, you're not going to stay there, so. And I make that even a picnic. Let me stay there, so.
So his father used to beat you?
He let me one time, and it done.
Okay.
We move out, and after I came, I got a call for take them away because we know me love picnic them and do it.
Okay.
So, we just say, all right, go with them.
Yes.
My mother stand behind me with that.
Okay.
Now, the vlogger Popeye didn't notice, but I know that you noticed. You noticed the language that she was using. The picnic them, right? He took her to court and took the picnic them. So it was not Giovanni alone. There were other children as well. There was a boy she spoke about in another interview. I think it was with the Cliff Hughes interview that was beheaded. That fellow was called Giovanni Ellis. So this young fellow, who at the time they said was 27, I do believe, it was reported in the Star, December 20, 2021, his killing. And the fact that he has the name Ellis, he would have been one of the children. So it was Giovanni and Giovanni, the one they call Coolie man, the subject of this video. Those two boys grew with their father. At the time, Giovanni was 2 years old when they were separated. Then she mentioned two sisters. She called the girls Giovanni's sisters. And one of them, she said, was Samantha, and the other one, Shernette. So we're not quite sure if they're also her children, but it appears as though they are too. So it appears as though for certain there were more than one. It's not just Giovanni alone, Giovanni that is, that he took from her. The court handed over to him. She said the one that was killed, Giovanni, was her best son. So he evidently never took too kindly to the father's teachings. Maybe he was older. You understand? So that is the situation. So there were more than one children. The father simply never understood that child. Or maybe he would have not have sown hate in him that took the kind of turn that it did. Well, it's a sad situation. He's now dead, and therefore it solved one problem. He can never rape or murder anybody else's child ever again. Had he been taken before the court, it would be for a certainty that he would have been back out in prison. And if he committed another one, he would have gone to prison and back out again. So these are just delays in this idiotic system that we have calling justice system. And it is this system that is largely to do with the crime situation in the country. Because if you were to check it out, you would have been told that around 67% of the crime is being committed by repeat offenders. So that is that. So I wanted to bring you that little bit of information. I don't know what the authorities are going to do. They want to do a sex offender thing, but it will never stop. It cannot stop because as long as the system, the court system is the way it will continue. And more people's children will be murdered and raped even after the court had them in their grasp and had the power to save those lives. Yes. Of course, I cannot close this video without expressing my condolences to the family of Kelsey and also to Giovanni's mother. They are all victims by his misconduct. The families, the community members, they were all victimized by his misbehavior. But even worse, they were all let down by this inept and incompetent judicial system and those who are charged with the responsibility of administering justice in a manner that is fair to both parties, to make decisions that are in the public interest and safeguarding the society from criminal acts. That's their duty. But apparently, their only interest is not in defending the rights of the victims, but protecting the rights of the criminal accused. And as long as this is the attitude of the courts, nothing will change. Crime will be what it is, continue to be high, and the repeat offenders will be back on the streets again to commit crimes over and over again until they are caught. And then when they are caught, the same cycle repeats itself. Nothing will ever change. Anyway, that's all I have for you today, folks. Thank you so much for joining me, for sharing, liking, and subscribing, and leaving your comments in the comments section. Until next time, take very good care of yourselves and walk good.